Hi designers, I am Anna Livermore from V.Mora. We help launch fashion designers. I founded V.Mora in 2008. It's going to be 16 years in January, which is unbelievable. It's been really fun. We've learned a lot. The company has grown exponentially. I love working with the clients. I love having that contact and seeing the results of what services we provide. We just did a fitting last week with one of our clients. She's doing little girl dresses, and to be able to show her the rack of samples and something that she had dreamed about for so long. It was just very emotional to be able to put it to reality, make it happen, and be there when you are seeing your creation for the first time. It's just super gratifying. Started as a pattern maker, sample maker. Clients needed more help and needed help with the factories and needed someone there explaining the patterns or the tech packs or what we were looking for production. So it really organically happened out of a need for what my clients were asking me for. Clients would come to pick up their samples and they would stay for an hour picking my brain. That's how this kind of consulting happened and the strategizing happened. But the most important part of what we do is the production management. This is the chunk of what V.Mora offers clients. It is the service that most of our clients come to us for. I tell my clients, I tell my employees, production management is challenging. If it wasn't, I literally would not have a company. We are working under the restraints a lot of times of smaller production, smaller minimums in the fabrics. For example, we'll have a client that maybe has come from a large company and is used to just like drawing something up, and somebody will custom make those buttons, yarn dye that fabric and screen print the design, and like voila, it's done. But that's not the reality for when you're creating something in those smaller minimums. There isn't one place to go that's just going to take care of everything. Your pattern maker isn't your sample maker. Your sample maker isn't your production house. Now, there are exceptions, of course, but for the most part, when you're working in these small minimums, and I'm talking like under 5,000 units would be a small minimum. If you're making 5,000 units, you can have all your things done custom, your trims made custom. You can have anything that you want when you are able to meet the minimum of 1,000 yards or have an entire container full of your deliverables. Things like that do help a lot. And that's how these larger companies make their garments very easily. When you're doing the small minimums, we're limited to the vendors that have fabrics that have those smaller minimums. The sourcing district, High J, is one of those vendors that has smaller minimums. I'm going to use a client example. She had bought fabric from very well-known, amazing retail fabric store. Beautiful fabrics, relatively good prices, but they aren't reorderable. There's no what's called continuity in the fabrics. She came to us with this beautiful vegan leather, like it was Stella McCartney. It was soft and it even smelled like leather, and it was gorgeous. And we looked everywhere. We ordered every swatch of every vegan leather supplier I've ever used, and we couldn't duplicate it. And the reason being is Stella McCartney made that fabric. They produced that fabric. They might even have the rights on that fabric. My point is that when you're working with these smaller minimums, you are unfortunately limited in what is readily available. You're going to have to order from the mills of the fabrics that are already made. Working with V.Mora, we can point out that if you're looking for this specific fabric, might be difficult to find, and then point you in all the right directions of the fabric vendors that do support smaller minimums. So our production management clients have that direction for whether they're kind of being too specific and they're not going to find the fabric, or if it's available. We also have all the network of the vendors that I've built over the last 15 years. If it's out there, we can find it. So even if you're working with V.Mora, we're going to say it takes about 9 to 12 months, depending on what you're launching, for you to have your products in your hands. The reason being is there are a lot of steps involved. I will tell you where you can save money, and I will tell you what I think you cannot skip. We do a timeline. All of this is upfront. We'll do an estimate. So we take you through this from start to finish. We do save a ton of time because we already have these vendors. We already have the factories. We already have the screen printers, the digitizers, or, whatever it is, we have that connection. And by working with us on that production management package, you have full connection to our network. We are completely transparent with those vendors, and you will know who you're working with. You'll be able to meet them. These vendors know us. They've worked with us for years. They know that we are educating you so that you're prepared to work with them. It's much easier for them if you already know that information, so they can do what they're good at, which is cutting and sewing. If you're asking for something they don't agree with, they will email us and say, hey, this client is asking for blah, 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 blah. I don't think that that's going to print out right. I don't think that's going to sew well. Can you just double check with them? And then I'll go back to the client and we'll walk through it together and come to a solution. We're emailing all the clients, emailing all the vendors on your behalf, writing your POs, checking in on all the vendors, making sure that deadlines are being kept, communicating those deadlines with you and with the manufacturers. We have what's called a flow sheet so that whenever you have questions, you can go back to that flow sheet to see. We also have tons and tons of content and checklists and worksheets that you can go through that will help you with everything from ordering your materials to marketing and strategy and social media and photo shoots. And what's unique about V.Mora, I feel, is that we are giving you direct contact to all of those vendors. We're not keeping you in the dark about anything. We're really here to be your partner, and we're in it with you. We want you to be successful. We want you to have a perfect production. We're going to do everything with you from start to finish. I always say we've done every product you can possibly imagine. What is beneficial about working with V.Mora in production management is we are not the factory, which you might think would be a benefit if you're working directly with the factory. But in actuality, you benefit from us not being a factory, because how that looks is we're going to be quoting out at multiple factories for your production, being able to get you the best price. Not only that, but we're going to pair you with the best factory for your type of product. So whether you're doing leather goods or couture or children's wear, we're going to have a factory that's going to meet the criteria, that's going to be perfect for you and what you need. Not only are we able to quote out and get you the best price, but we're able to find you the best possible match. And you've heard me say it before, the factory is the most important relationship that you're ever going to make. So we're able to work with a variety of clients because we're able to pair you with whatever factory it is, and different minimums. Some clients want to make 30 units. Some clients want to make 100, some 500, some 1,000. So we're able to pair you with the factory that has your type of product, that's going to have the best price, and be able to work in your minimums. It also gives our clients the ability to launch a clothing line and have a life, whether that's a full-time job or you're a mom or whatever your life looks like. You can sleep at night. Basically, like hiring, if you're going to hire a full staff for your first collection to launch, you're going to hire a technical designer, a pattern maker, a production manager, an assistant for that production manager, a strategic advisor. All of that comes within the V.Mora team. And at a fraction of a price of like hiring 5 full-time employees, that'd be insane. So you're able to work with a team at contractor rates instead of pulling in all of these employees.